And we are live.
Guys,
This is loud.
girls, everyone in between. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome to Dumplings and Somethings, the space where two guys talk about the dumplings in life and you guys learn about something in life. On your mic one, I'm Daniel, coming to you from beautiful Germany. And on mic two, we have Mr. T, my good friend, Yuki. How you doing, bro?
Doing all right. Yeah, we good.
Long
On a Sunday afternoon.
Sunday after talking about money, making money.
We talk about too many things. Life be lifing.
Guys, we have some wings here that we bought from a spot called Wing Nation in Munich. And we're about to test out some fried wings. What was one flavor? Honey barbecue.
Honey barbecue, and we have
The other one was
mango.
Mango.
Habanero.
Habanero is what, something spicy.
Habanero is some spicy chili.
Yeah? Let's dive in, bro. Let's dive in.
Although it may be about dumplings, but we occasionally
Yeah, it's my fault. My bad.
diversify.
Long story short, Dan, I was supposed to get the dumplings, and I forgot. I didn't forget. I was feeling lazy yesterday. I just didn't go.
But it's all right. There aren't enough dumplings to try. There's always time for dumplings.
Which one did you try?
I haven't tried it yet. I had rice. Because rice is good.
That honey barbecue slapping.
Funny enough, we Asians sometimes have wings and with rice. It's not bad.
That honey barbecue is slapping, broski.
Honey, I got mango. Mango's nice. Mango's good.
You said you recently saw the movie Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer. Oh yeah. You've seen it too.
What do you think about the first impression?
First impression, great film. Hold on. Let me have this moment.
Every time I eat wings, I think of First We Feast on YouTube. Have you ever seen Hot Ones?
Yeah, hot ones.
And I always think of my technique to eat wings is so wrong because they always look like they have it to the T. They know exactly how to strip the meat off the bone. Pause.
They strip clean.
Pause again. Anyway, Oppenheimer is a movie. But first of all, big ups to Quentin Tarantino.
Was it Tarantino or was it Christopher Nolan?
Christopher Nolan.
Bro, you don't even know.
Dog. As compared to, I know it was fighting against Barbie, but like, yes, Barbie won. Barbie got the masses. Barbie got the numbers. But the story that I learned from Oppenheimer, I haven't seen Barbie. I heard it was phenomenal. But the story I got from Oppenheimer was two dualities. One, a scientist who wants to push his work to its absolute bounds and see how far he can go with his work in the name of science. And then, ultra contradictory, his moral human side, which is like, this is or will be devastating.
Well, just like life, I guess. I think it applies to all sides of life. There's always a duality. It's always, should I do it? Should I do it? Should I not do it? I do it because I want to do it. But when it involves other people, the question of virtue and morality comes in. If it makes sense at all for the rest of mankind, for him, he didn't mind it. He thinks that, he thinks the end result would always favor the right than the wrong. But he was wrong.
Because...
Not to say he was wrong, he was not in control.
That's the thing, he was not in control. He got the funding, he got the support, but at the end of the day, it was about...
That's Big Boss.
It's about what they wanted to use his technology for.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, during that time, we're going through the World War, Germany versus the world. America wants to have America wants to be in a position where they are able to protect themselves and present themselves as a threat if somebody wants to strike them. And they had an opportunity to go in towards atomic energy, something that was just, was the word theorized?
Theorized, yeah.
But, and Oppie wanted to explore his theories. He wasn't selfish. He brought his team with him, his friends. Yeah.
Yes.
And during that stage, you could see a lot in the movie. First of all, let me just be very clear. I am not in support of war, even though I find just the military very cool. But I'm not in support of war and killing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But with that said, I understand him wanting to explore and fund his ideas. But then at the end of the day, you saw like when he had to speak to the president, and the president was like, get this crybaby out of my office. Like the president was also even like, bro, we in a war. We're talking about humanity and morals right now.
Exactly.
You know? And that is the duality that we go through in life. I think that's the theme for right now though.
Mm-hmm.
Everything, like you and I were talking today. For those of you who don't know, earlier today, you and I went and met with one of our financial advisors, and we were talking about investing, and we are architects, and we learned about like the real estate market and whatnot. And we learned about Yuki spoke about gentrification, and I was like, what do you mean right now? Obviously I know what gentrification means, but
I think that will be a topic that has to be
no, I mean,
has to be spoken in private. No,
I'm not gonna go deeper in it.
all right,
But
cool.
good heads up. But
Cool.
I'm just talking about like, at what point can someone make some cash for themselves, but at the end of the day still care about the human impact, you know?
About
And
human development.
Human
yeah.
development. And I'm not just talking about our financial conversation, I'm talking about in general, bro.
Yeah.
Like, at what point do you say this is for the betterment of the human society, or this is for my personal growth in life because I have dreams, aspirations I'm trying to develop?
You're damn right.
That's some scary stuff.
You're damn right.
Because you can easily lose yourself based on who you're around to continue diving deeper and deeper and deeper, or put yourself in a situation where you need to just go deeper and deeper and deeper
Yeah.
in whatever it could be. It could be research, it could be finances, it could be even deeper, for example, in your spirituality.
Yeah.
But then, for example, maybe ostracizing or removing some people from your life based on stuff that you read, stuff that you learn, that may not
Reality as we speak.
That may not be the reality that we live in right now.
Yeah. And me being a very realistic person, and also I've read so much. Well, I read enough, at least, to be informed about the situation, and
Okay.
I fight the duality, the double-edged sword that we are in, which is life. As you grow, as you become more mature, you're informed, but at the end of the day, mullahs, man. Money be money,
Yeah, but I think
and you gotta do what you gotta do to get some money, and then deal with the whole dilemma of doing the right thing. What does it mean? I mean, I don't mean doing bad things. I don't mean selling drugs or committing crime. But as architects, you and I, we have learned so many things about virtues of building environment, building an environment for the people. Architects,
it's around the people.
we're making things. We are creating environments, and those responsibility comes back to us when it doesn't favor the people. When we are building, when we are creating mega structures that only favors the big investors, then that question comes back to us as architects. Are we really doing what we're supposed to do?
Considering the people or not?
Yeah. Are we Are we taught to do what we're supposed? Well, are we doing what we are taught to do, or are we not?
See, provide an interesting question, bro.
Yeah.
Because, for example, when we were younger in architecture school, I could only speak about myself. Maybe you could relate or not.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would be in studio learning about this designer, learning about his or her creations. Who has a Pritzker Prize, for those of you who don't
Doing
know?
wonderful things.
The Pritzker Prize is like the highest accolade an architect can get.
Pritzker,
Yeah, Pritzker Prize.
Pritzker. All right.
Don't quote me.
Hmm.
But then when it comes down to, for example, if you want to create a really strong financial office, you're looking for clients who pay big money.
You're damn right.
You know, so for example, my thesis was about giving back to the people, giving back to poorer people.
Giving back to the people. You're damn right.
But let's be real though, how much money I could make if I dive solely into that sector of architecture. Maybe if I get some type of co-founder or some type of supporting company to help me with my ideas. Because you know my thesis was about disaster relief architecture for areas that have natural disasters.
You're damn right.
But like, there's no way in
Let's be real, man.
There's no way in Germany that focusing on anything like
Realism.
that. You're not gonna make in that sector.
You're not gonna make, but it's a virtuous path. It's a virtuous path.
I love that. I love that
path.
it's virtuous. I love
Yes.
that, and I love this story. However, in the reality,
Yeah.
I want to drive a nice car too.
I've been playing.
I want to travel as well.
I've been playing good cop, bad cop to myself every day, telling me, asking myself, if that's the way to do.
I want to tell my lady which one you want to choose.
Yeah.
Okay, let's buy that.
All right.
There's a part of me that wants to be like that, and then there's another part of me that wants to like focus on the general people.
Everybody would choose life for sure. I mean, I want to choose life too.
What do you mean by choose life? You mean like choose
Life.
their individual lives?
Yes, life to live, and not
'Cause they're
struggling with virtue. You know, then I might as well be a monk. Might as well be a what's the opposite of a nun?
So, there's a book.
It's a book.
The Monk Who Drove a Ferrari. There's a book.
Oh shit. Okay. All right. I will look it up.
Yeah, I don't have my phone.
Shit. Monk drove a Ferrari.
Not drove a Ferrari. Monk and Ferrari. Checking your phone right now.
Monk and Ferrari.
I forgot. It's a financial book, like
All right.
like Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Yeah. Rich Dad Poor Dad. Classic.
How to make friends and influence people. Like these self-development books.
Yeah.
But there's a book a friend always told me about.
Monk and Ferrari. That would be cool. That would be a cool story to know.
I can't remember the name. It has to do with
The monk who sold his Ferrari.
The monk who sold his Ferrari.
Bro, that's just a guy who realized, okay, money's
Bro,
not everything, and he decides to give it up. It sounds like it. The monk who sold his Ferrari.
Well, I don't know. I
So
didn't read the book.
it's like some guy decides, okay, this material life doesn't mean anything to me anymore. I decide to approach life spiritually. I think that would be it. That would be maybe an epiphany moment for some guy who decides, okay, shit, Ferrari's not making me happy, but helping people makes me happy. Sounds like it, but I don't know. I mean, I don't quote me on that. I should check that book out, but it does sound like it. If I'm so damn rich, and then suddenly I decide, yeah, money don't mean shit anymore.
Can I just stick a pin and say something?
Shoot.
This
Honey barbecue.
This
Banging.
Both of them are banging.
Yeah.
But this mango jalapeno,
Habanero. Yeah.
slapping, bro.
Slapping. Oh yeah. I mean, it's better than what we had before. This garlic, spicy garlic.
That garlic was on my
That was
throat.
tasty too. But this
Tasty, but
a
that garlic
mango,
was on my throat for 2 days, bro.
mango and spice.
She would not like that.
She would not like that. No. Yes. Garlic and spice. She would not like that. Mango and spice. Maybe she might take some heat.
Some sweet heat.
Some sweet heat.
But back to the topic of
Yeah.
to the
Virtues and duality. What's the on it?
virtues and duality.
Yeah.
I believe that at some point in your life,
You have to do what you have to do.
No, at some point in your life, you need to be somewhat selfish.
No.
Wait,
you
hold
have
on.
to
Let
be
me finish.
realistic.
At some point in your life,
Right.
I think you need to be somewhat selfish in that moment, where you can put yourself in a position where you can probably help others in the future.
Yes.
And that selfishness may be this part of maybe aligning yourself with a particular type of firm or a group of people. If you know that your values are to give back and you hold strong to your integrity, then there's a nice sweet spot. But
correct.
if you know you're easily influenced by the masses,
then you're gone.
Yeah.
You lose your way. I mean, if you don't know, if you weren't selfish for a moment and figure out what you need to do to be better, and you're constantly selfless, you eventually lose your way.
You can't help anyone.
Can't help anyone when you can't help yourself.
I think we should switch.
Gotta switch. Gotta cut a short segment because the camera's not working.
The camera's
for
working.
long.
It's just that
it's working, but it doesn't record for too long.
Shoot for a short moment of time. We'll get that fixed out, guys.
16 minutes.
We are in the
16-minute mark.
Teething stage of our podcast. Our baby is now growing teeth. Just be patient with us, please.
Angels by Chance the Rapper.
Never heard it. Is it good?
Angels, I played it just now.
Oh.
That's gospel-like rap.
I know, Jesus and bad bitches.
Jesus and bad bitches.
But I mean, like,
Christ and bad... No,
Christ and
Jesus.
bad bitches.
Christ and bad bitches? You know we're recording, right? Yes. Christ and bad bitches. Bad bitches.
I like my bitches bad, I like my Christ holy.
I like Christ holy. Oh, jeez.
I should be recording. Yeah, that's another topic, bro. Like,
that's a topic, another topic.
Alright, for example,
to go into
the last time we just spoke about
spiritual. No,
we spoke about dualities, right?
Dualities, yeah.
I just literally said Christ and bad bitches.
Yeah, that is also a duality.
A duality,
yeah.
because
comes back full circle.
For those of you who don't know, I identify as Christian. I grew up in the house of the Lord. My mom introduced me to church.
Identify.
And even though she introduced me to church and I grew up in the church, I went to Sunday school, everything, learned all the Bible stories. My mother also introduced me to socializing and partying, bro.
Right.
You get me?
Right.
She very much was about balance, and she said, go and have a good time, be respectful to yourself, be respectful to
others
and your God.
Yeah.
And then also don't forget the house of the Lord. Don't forget to also go there. So my brother and I grew up always having that duality. You get me?
You're
sometimes, obviously, like sometimes if we party too hard, we miss one Sunday service, and then she'll give us that the bombastic side eye.
Bombastic side eye.
But then there will be other times where we just know it's church on Sunday.
Otherwise she gonna give you a holy whooping.
No, in the beginning it was mandatory because we were young, we couldn't make our own decisions. My mom was carrying us to church every Sunday.
Right.
When we became older teenagers and young 20s, and especially when we both learned how to drive, my brother and I, she used to go to church earlier because she used to like to stand and have praise and worship, the singing. And we were teenage boys, we were just like, bro, just get to the sermon because we wanted to get in and get out. That type of mindset. But we got up on our own, dressed, went to church, and then we would obviously come back. And our mom would come back, and plus our mom would just want to stay and mingle and talk, and we didn't have that energy. Just like
homework.
But I'm trying to talk about the duality. For example, a lot of people now, especially in Christian faith, or maybe anybody else who is strong in their faith or who has grown up in a faith, could also comment on this. Please comment below. People will call me lukewarm.
Right.
Lukewarm Christian, because I can't quote every single Bible verse, that I can't quote which chapter from the Bible is this from, that I live my life in limbo sometimes, like, okay, I'm talking about Christ right now, Christ the Redeemer, and then tomorrow I want to go to
meanwhile
a dance hall party, you know?
Meanwhile you be having booties around you.
Yeah. I like booties. I like to curse.
Yeah.
You know? And I think I struggle with that, honestly. There's a part of me that struggles with it, and there's a part of me that's like, why do I have to identify exactly how you expect me to identify?
Now here is a good cop, bad cop moment.
Oh, let me hear.
Good cop, bad cop. I'm playing the bad cop right here.
You're always a bad cop.
I'm always a bad cop. Fuck the police. Bad cop. So, it's not entirely your fault. And people be calling you lukewarm. Meanwhile, the holiest of the holiest person out there might be sitting in the shadows. You don't know. So I think there's always an extreme. At least you get to admit that you have your flaws. You still try to redeem yourself. You have integrity. You would redeem yourself in the name of Christianity, but also you do not deny your flaws. Meanwhile, some of the closeted holy, that might be
go for it, bro. Hey, this is
that might
your
be
space,
exaggerating.
Bro. Put your dick on the table, bro. This is
put
your
my
space.
dick on the table.
This is your space.
Say it with my chest.
Say it with your, put your dick on the table.
Put my dick. Yeah, I'll put my dick on the table.
I think we just demonetize ourselves.
I don't think so. Swearing's normal.
Go for it. So what you want to say?
I would say even the most saint, is that a word? Saintest of the people, the holy,
saintiest.
or saintiest, might have flaws. They just cover it well. They keep it in the shadows well.
I think I like how you said that. For example, I have no shame in telling you about my flaws.
You damn right.
As a Christian man in his walk, in his personal walk, your walk and my walk might be two different walks.
You're right.
I have no problem telling you I curse a lot. I still watch pornography.
Yeah.
I'm constantly battling between what I think is Christ-like and what I enjoy.
You're right.
But at the end of the day, when I sit with myself, I also, well, maybe you don't know this about me, I also have my time where I go to church as much as I can. Self-reflection. I do a lot of self-reflection. I pray. I pray for everyone that I care about, even people that I'm angry with, I still pray for them.
Mm-hmm.
And these are like, I learned this through my mom, first of all, but I learned Christianity through my mother. I learned it through the church. I learned it through my aunts. But what am I trying to say is that I am not like what you just described as a person who's hiding and not letting you know about their work. I will be very transparent and tell you I am a flawed man. But with my flaws, I know when I need to recharge my faith walk.
Fair.
Or balance it.
I mean, it's not just...
Those wings are slapping.
Those wings be slapping. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean... Oh, the wings are great. The wings are definitely great. But let's not forget that the more the more righteous a person could be, the more righteous a person might come up as. Deep under, there might be some shadows. Shadows. Everybody got shadows, but you can't go around and say that you are without flaw.
Yeah.
You can't go on around preaching, and meanwhile you say, "Oh, I do not."
I fuck with them more when they tell me about the shadows.
You damn right.
For example, there's this one particular pastor. He's very popular on YouTube now. Black guy. His name is Pastor Michael Todd. He kind of gave me the strength to talk to other Christian people about more of my flaws, because he's a pastor and he would talk about his addiction to pornography. As a young black man, well, I'm not that young anymore, but I could still very much relate to that, and I could still tell you I have also had those problems. You get me?
Yeah.
And there are other pastors that will talk about their struggles and tribulations, but I just mentioned him because him in particular I would think of as someone who's on the podium. He is addressing the congregation and he's letting you know about his past transgressions. I don't know what's going on in his life personally right now and if he's transparent about it, but I like the fact that he shared that.
Yeah, today. I think so.
Yeah, that's
why
duality is a big thing.
Duality, I mean, our lives are constantly revolving around duality. I truly believe that everything comes in circles.
You know, the name of this episode is going to be Christ and Bad Bitches.
Christ and Bad Bitches. Yeah, we're gonna call it. We're gonna call it. We're gonna title it Christ and Bad Bitches. But you must make sure bitches would not be spelled entirely.
No, that's all.
There's got to be an asterisk or like a X.
Yeah.
I mean,
how is it for you? What is a duality that it may not be like, for example, I was just very transparent about the religious part of duality for me, but what is a duality that you constantly walk the thin line of?
Oh, my entire life is a thin line.
If you had to
my entire life is a thin line. I am constantly walking between one side or the other.
Okay, so we spoke about professional duality earlier, and I just spoke about my religious duality. If there's a duality that you could think of, or something that you constantly, I guess, back and forth in your thoughts about when you're walking on your own, when you're on the train.
I mean, I am a very realistic person.
Yeah.
Hence why I form my opinions around things that are present.
That's why I like
but
it,
that becomes very pessimistic, and that is a problem. Realists and pessimists are somewhere on the line with each other.
The neighbors.
But they're neighbors, yeah. And
sharing milk.
One must be aware when they've gone too far down the road with pessimism, because reality is a harsh truth, or truth is a harsh reality. But
reality is truth.
Yeah, reality is truth.
And when you think of optimism is just basically faith.
Yes, optimism is faith. You're right. So reality is truth, and optimism is faith.
Mm-hmm.
And one just needs a bit of both. But it's a duality. You have to walk on. And
for example,
it's not easy.
I don't know about you, but my dad, my old man, love him to death. But growing up, we would constantly clash because up to this day, we still clash sometimes because I think he would definitely identify as a realist.
Yeah.
Realist. And I used
to our parents are realists.
Nah, dog. I would always tell my dad, you're too pessimistic for me.
Right.
You know? Because I'm not living in a cloud, but I'm always like, I look at the cup half full in every situation.
Fair.
In every single situation, I try to look at the cup half full. And sometimes, like my old man would always look at the cup empty that needs to be filled. And we would clash about that for everything, bro. To the point where sometimes very, very small dreams that I have, I feel it's
good to
tell him. I wouldn't even tell him.
Squashed.
Because his realism is so harsh that I call it pessimism, and I'm like, if I tell this man how I feel and what I hope to aspire, he would just shoot it down. And I guarantee you it's not his intention to shoot it down.
Definitely not.
I just assume it's how he was raised.
And I believe that's what my parents were going through as well, back and forth as I grew up. I think to some extent they were squashing my dreams. They were really harsh, and they realized up to some point they too have to acknowledge what I'm trying to achieve and give a little encouragement.
You think I would always give my father a reason for why he's pessimistic/realistic.
Right.
And I would always tell myself it was how he was raised.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
His past, his story and my story are two different stories.
Yeah.
You think if you want kids in the future, the next generation, when we have kids, if you want kids, if I have a kid and if my kid comes to hang out by you over Easter or whatever, you think we would be in a situation we would also where, because of the tribulation of life and experiencing life and its ups and it's very much downs, there's more downs than ups.
More downs than ups.
You think that we would also be like somewhat realistic / pessimistic
with them we gotta tread softly. No, tread softly. I won't say. I believe we would tread carefully. I believe so. Because we, in this day and age, we we experience a lot more than our parents do. I believe so.
Facts.
Because I mean, back in the time, it's only struggle. There's more struggle than than not. And today we have less struggle, but we get to see some struggle and some joy. We experience part joy and part struggle. But back then there were more struggle than joy. I would think so. Plenty of war happened in the last century.
Yeah, life was harder back then.
Life was hard.
Significant. Life was hard, but at the same time, in some areas, life was easy.
I mean, finally now we realize what our parents were saying were right. When we were young, we thought we were struggling. We were kids, struggling childhood. But meanwhile, our parents were really, really struggling. Maybe, I don't know. Could be right, could be wrong. But then again, when you look at back in history, technically, historically, there were more struggles than what it is now.
Yeah, I can't. We have the facts. History does tell us that during that time there was more struggles.
Damn right.
Our immediate parents' time, which was the generation before us.
Yeah.
Obviously, they had their own struggles.
They struggled with colonialism.
No,
that was
my parents. I mean, my parents are in their 60s, 70s, but they weren't slaves, bro. What are you talking about?
Oh, sorry, not about you.
Colonialism.
Neither is my country. Wait.
That would have been about 3-4 generations prior.
Two generations. It
would be under least. All right, but fair enough.
Grandparents.
Do you know our grandparents' time? Our countries.
Yeah, were colonized.
Were colonized countries under British rule.
Yeah. Well, for me, it was Japanese as well before the Brits.
For me, it was Spanish, French, then British.
Yeah.
You know, a little bit of Dutch and German inside there, but I was in Tobago. You know what's wild, bro? Tangent. You know what's wild?
Oof. What is wild?
Just flick the indicator on. We just turn right for a minute. These historical major colonizers, now those same countries
are struggling.
Struggling, bruv.
Yeah, man.
Portugal, Spain.
Yeah.
Netherlands, not so much.
Not so much.
But I'm like...
The Brits, maybe a little.
These countries have stolen. And... We're back, guys. Sorry about that little delay.
We have... Well, there was no delay, but there was a little hiccup on our camera.
You put the time on?
I did.
I forgot what we were talking about, bro.
We were talking about...
I know exactly what we were talking about. My bad. Back to it, hot and heavy. I was talking about very chaotically. Let me try and bring it back in.
Right, bring it back.
I was talking about these small challenges of duality and colonization. During colonization times,
right,
countries took so much from other countries.
Yeah.
And fast forward to present times, these major players who were taking did so much terrible financial management of what they were taking that these same countries are now not destitute, but they are now like not at the top tier of what you would expect for a country that was taking so much.
They're still up there for a short
because
moment.
of assistance from other countries.
Yes.
Especially in the European Union.
They are able to sustain that power for a while.
Yeah. Position of name.
Position. Yeah. They're doing well for a while. I mean,
no, they're not, bros. Like, don't sugarcoat it. Like, I love Europe. Europe has allowed me to come and get my master's. I live in Germany. You and I live in Germany. We've traveled around Europe.
We have benefited from the system, no doubt.
Benefited from our system.
Yeah.
But the same system is also a system back in 4 or 5 generations ago that have taken from our countries.
You are right.
And those countries that have taken from our countries, I would expect them to be
prosper.
In better financial positions now.
You're right.
But they're not.
Well,
as compared to Germany, that also took from other countries, but at least Germany is the strongest European country.
I guess I can agree to that. Yeah. I've been telling you that I wanna show you the paragraph of a wisecrack from a philosopher that written about humanity. But I suppose to paraphrase it, when bad times make good people make good times, good times make, I suppose, good times make bad people because they're lazy or
They're comfortable.
they're too comfortable, and then bad people brings bad times. So in that way, it's a cycle. It's kind of cycle, and
Run that back. Bring that back home.
so bad times make good people make good times make bad people make bad times. So it's like a circle of life where empires will prosper and then empires would collapse, just like history, just like the Roman Empire. I mean, superpowers eventually come to a point of struggling to control power, and I think that's what's happening now.
You say it's capitalism?
No, that's a whole topic that we can go into. I mean,
No time.
there's no one answer to it. But to put it simply, we do not know when it's enough, or
Of
when.
taking?
Oh no! Wait.
First of all,
no, phrase it wrong.
these countries
probably.
shouldn't have been taking in the
I
beginning.
think humanity hasn't learned to know the importance of sustainability. I mean, that is a very scientific word to say, but of sustaining a good time. Empires have again and again prosper and collapse, collapse. But when is the time when humanity says, okay, let's keep this alive as long as possible?
I think okay, so we already I didn't want to talk about just colonization. I just wanted to talk about taking and being sustainable. I think the only place that I have seen that in my current life positively is the Emirates. For example, they discovered oil back in the early 1900s, the early 1990s or whatever, and now
they are
flourishing on tourism.
Yeah.
So they used their natural resource, created a boom at that time, and then developed, and now they are focusing on tourism to maintain the sustainability.
Yeah, slight tangent.
Let me hear you.
Slight tangent. They flourish with oil money.
Yeah, in the beginning.
And they're building oasis in the desert. I don't know how long that's gonna last, to be honest.
Fear, but as far as novelty is concerned, it's attracting people to come and see it.
Yeah.
And that creates tourism.
I think so. I suppose.
How long would that I don't like, for example, I've never been there, so I don't know if somebody, when they go there, they're like, ooh, I need to come back again.
Yeah.
As compared to like you and I, how we would go to Portugal and we'd be like, I can't wait to go back again. You know?
Yes.
I don't know if people leave the Emirates saying, ooh, I can't wait to go back again, or if it's just like a one and done, or like a one in every 10 years kind of thing.
Or rather, if we would see ourselves settling, but not in the desert. I don't think anybody would like to settle in the desert, except the locals. I mean, if you're from that place, yes, but if you experience a more comfortable environment, why would you? I'm not saying that the Middle East or the desert is bad, but it does not sustain life. A desert does not sustain life. Just like you trying to live in ice cold Siberia, where it's snow and blizzards all year round, or maybe it's too cold to be it's, or maybe let's put it simply, trying to colonize Mars. If at one point somebody is able to take the space shuttle to the Mars and visit Mars, but the fact is Mars is not inhabitable. But why would one choose to struggle, to suffer, to live in a uninhabitable environment? I'm just saying.
That's your perspective.
That's how I see it.
It's not sustainable, and I was looking at it from like, it creates an industry for tourism.
Yes, I mean that's great. I mean I'm not gonna lie.
How long can like tourism?
How
continue?
long exactly? I mean
enough.
geographically has split mankind to different places. Yeah, and they learn to adapt. But the thing is, if you have a choice, you wouldn't end up in the desert.
You think you can survive in the desert, bro?
I can't.
You can?
I can't.
All right.
I am too
All right.
spoiled.
Role play. Role play.
Shoot.
You go to Dubai on an adventure, you and your lady, you and your brethren, whoever.
Right.
You know, you see these videos time to time with people who have these ATVs and they go to the Dubai and they
They enjoying.
They enjoying it.
They
Like,
balling.
boom. Let's say you're riding your ATV. You're doing your joyriding. Boom. Unsuspected sandstorm. There's a sandstorm. Everybody gets separated.
Yeah.
You find yourself now alone
Alone
with
in the
just
desert.
your fanny pack.
Yeah.
With maybe one bottle of water, a battery pack for your cell phone, a cable.
I think I would survive. I would survive.
The human body
Yeah.
can go without food for a number of time.
But not water.
And we can't, I think the human body can't go without water for any longer than 3 days or something like
You're
that.
damn right.
What survival instincts are you going to put in place now to at least survive a week in
Well,
the
as
desert
far-
while
as
they're
far-
looking for you?
As far as Aladdin has taught me, the cartoon.
First of all, I've never heard anybody say Aladdin.
Aladdin.
Aladdin?
Aladdin. Sorry. No,
Jesus.
I think I mistake that with the dictator. Aladdin.
Never seen it.
No, never.
The Dictator?
Dictator by Sacha Baron Cohen.
No.
This funny dude. Oh, you should watch it. It's
Okay,
hilarious.
I
It's
missed
hilarious.
that, boss.
Missed that bus. Yeah.
Yeah.
Aladdin has taught me. I should look up at the stars in the middle of the night and chart my way.
Have you studied?
I have
the
not.
North Star? Do you know the North Star?
I do not, but
You know, this
I-
this raises a good
I
question,
must
bro.
I must recall my YouTube discoveries. I think somewhere I watched a documentary about how to navigate yourself out of a desert.
What do you know?
I don't remember, but I gotta
You
look
can't
it up
remember
again.
one thing?
Can't remember, but I suppose walking in a straight line helps.
Bro, you're gonna be seeing deja vus. You're not gonna walk in a straight line. First of all, these are sand dunes. These are mountains of sand.
You're
All
right.
you have is your fanny pack, the clothes on your back, and
Damn.
a busted ATV vehicle.
Busted ATV.
Do you stay with the ATV?
I do not.
Do you abandon it? Do you try to just tie your head with your clothing and walk? Or do you like create a tent out of the clothing you have on the ATV until it's nighttime and then walk? How do you eat? How the little bit of water you may have in your water bottle, do you drink that and then do you save your urine and let your urine sediment and you just drink the
Gotta
top
drink
of
my
your
piss.
drink the top like you do know that's a
Just
survival
like
skill, right?
just like Bear Grylls.
Bear Grylls. I learned
Yeah.
that on Bear Grylls.
Yeah.
If
Drink my
you
piss.
if you don't have anything fluid to drink, use your urine, let it sediment
Yeah.
where the waste part, the yellow, settles
Sets
at the
down.
bottom, but settles at the bottom, and the top, that clay area, that's what you can drink.
Right.
Yeah, it's not gonna taste great.
I don't know, but I.
I mean, like when it's time for you to survive, what type
You
of
gotta
survival
do.
skills?
You gotta do all it takes. I mean, I don't remember
Mind you,
having
the
to
sand,
drink
the sand,
piss.
The sand is burning hot.
I don't remember having to drink piss, but if I do have to drink my piss, I guess
That's
I do.
soft, man. I drinking that. Golden showers.
Golden showers.
Um,
I would. Okay, for one, if thirst really is a priority
it will be.
to be dealt with, then unfortunately I drink my piss. But otherwise, let's hit the record button.
Yeah. So
Right, we back.
topic of survival. So we spoke about dualities. We spoke about sustainabilities. Now we're on survival. I love this about conversation. By the way,
Yeah.
how conversations just flow.
Yeah. All right. I appreciate that too. We talk.
I'm not trying to gas myself up here.
Yeah.
But I think if there's a survival situation, I have enough rough skills that I could survive for a
Such
period
as.
of time.
Such as.
All right, give me
Drink
a scenario.
piss. Drink
Give me
piss.
give me a scenario. Give me the weirdest
No,
scenario.
you gave me the scenario.
I give you a scenario about scenario about the desert. You said you're gonna die.
Yeah.
Give me a scenario. Paint a picture. I'm on a plane. I fall off. Tell me, and I'll be like, let me tell
No,
you
you
how I
can't.
survive.
You cannot
Give
survive.
me a scenario.
You cannot survive from a plane crash.
if we crash into like the jungles, like in the movies, and you have to survive.
Yeah.
Give me a scenario.
A plane that is falling off the skies. You can't survive.
A plane that is falling out of the sky.
Yeah, you're in the plane.
So this is a regular commercial airlines that
Yeah.
I'm in, and there are other people who are strapped in
And
the seats
with a busted engine.
with a busted engine. So
Yeah.
the plane is crashing.
Yeah. Oh,
So-
yeah, you'll crash diving.
First of all, everybody's gonna
Nose
crash.
diving.
The plane is nose
Nose
diving.
diving. What you gonna do?
So all right, everybody,
Panicking.
plane is nose diving. Plane is panicking.
Oxygen mask dropping down.
All right. Is the side door open? The emergency door open? Like
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Emergency door popped open.
All right. Am I to the back of the plane or to the front of the plane? Anyway, they're gonna tell you where the emergency door is on the plane. I'm not gonna lie
Even
to
so,
you, bro.
what you gonna do?
In the few seconds that I have, I'm going to decide: am I going to stay here and just die with whoever I am with? Because that might be another thing. If I'm with my family or whatever, I might just die with them.
Right.
If I'm by myself, and for example, I'm gonna die, bro. It's a plane crashing. But if it's a situation where the plane like crashed into like a jungle, you get me?
Right.
And there's only maybe like 4 or 5 survivors for whatever reason.
But what if the plane is destined to explode? You gotta do something in midair. What are you gonna do?
I have to do something
What
in
you gotta
mid-air.
do? Midair.
Do I have a parachute?
I don't know.
This is your situation.
At that moment,
bro.
at
I'm
that
asking
moment, you
the
don't know.
details.
At that moment, you don't know where's the parachute.
No, you
are
can't be on a
without.
plane and they wouldn't tell you the safety procedures, bro. They would tell you before the plane leaves.
Well, in a commercial plane, I don't think they have parachutes.
Okay, so there's no parachute. There's just life jackets.
Probably no. Yeah, life
The
jackets.
pilots and the air hostesses have parachutes.
They have parachutes, correct.
I'm running
Passengers, you don't
I'm
have.
crawling, pulling myself to an air hostess. All the G-force that is pushing against me. If I'm by myself on that plane, if it's a Ryan Airlines, I'm going towards a air hostess.
Hostess, grab her.
When he or she is trying to push me off, I'm going to use my jiu-jitsu skills and hold on to that
Grapple
person,
onto them,
and I'm going
pull.
to jump out with them. And they
in their
have
parachute.
they have to pull their parachute. Either they die
All right.
with me or they pull their parachute. Whilst they're pulling their parachute, I'm holding on to dear life. However, I'm going to try to entangle my arm into like some string of the parachute, and we're going to do a hard landing.
A hard landing.
Right?
Right.
This is all fictional, by the way. This is
It
like
is fictional.
this is James Bond,
James Bond
Tom
stuff.
Cruise kind of stuff.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So yeah, I'm definitely going for the pilot or the pilot. The pilot
Or the air host.
Definitely. If I'm with my family, I'm gonna charge it, bro. I'm just gonna be like,
You're gonna leave your family?
Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar. Oh, no, you're not gonna leave your family. You're gonna
I'm
go
gonna
with
stay
them.
with them. I'm
You're
gonna
gonna go
stay
with
with
them.
them.
All right.
Yeah.
And have the Lord to.
Yeah, let him decide, bro.
The Lord's mercy is
Yeah.
upon
Cry some bad bitches.
Christ and bad bitches.
Yeah. Yeah, but
All
if it's a situation where I'm stranded somewhere, jungle type of environment,
I think jungle's alright.
Jungle or even desert, I
Desert.
think I have enough skills to somewhat last at least a few
So
days.
back to the desert. How are you gonna deal with it?
All right,
You're in a desert.
I'm in a desert stranded.
Plane crash landed in a desert.
You and these plane crashes, bro. Are you fixated on plane crashes?
I think I might have obsession with plane crashes.
My goodness, bro. Don't sit next to me in the next plane flight, okay? You sit in front. Fun fact, the safest part of a plane, if you do take a flight, is to the back. You get me? So like,
I think so. Yeah.
So like, I mean, obviously, if a plane is going to crash, everybody's going to die. But the highest chance of survival is if you're sitting to the back of the plane, because the nose is obviously going to die and bend.
You're
down.
right. So
Okay.
yeah.
Desert. So it's not an ATV. It's not a more
Not an
realistic.
ATV situation. No. You're crash landed.
I survive.
Oh, you got plenty of supplies in the plane.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
First of all, I'm going to take the rations that they have in the plane. But which side of the plane am I sitting on? Anyway.
Backside of the plane.
Well, then close.
You survive.
I survive.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back to the carnage, check and see who's alive first.
Right.
Then I'm going to go, if I don't have any broken limbs or whatnot, or if I do, try to find some way to create first aid for myself, create a splint or whatever if something is broken.
Right.
Get to the rations, get a backpack with some food.
Backpack of food.
Then I'm going to check the dead people and check and see what type of tools or any other thing that they have that could help me on my survival.
Right.
food, maybe better clothing, maybe you can't have a knife on the plane, but I mean like I'm gonna check for anything I could use for survival.
Okay. So
You asked me. You said if we were on a plane crash in the desert, what would I do?
Yeah,
I said
you would survive.
I think I could survive because first of all, if I'm not ailing any broken bones, or if I am, I would try to, from my experience as a cadet, when I was in the cadet force in my home country,
Yeah.
and my father who was in the Boy Scouts, so he kind of taught me whatever he knew. I would try if I broke something, I would try to create like a splint.
But to fix
Let me finish
yourself.
my story, bruv.
My bad.
Try to get a splint, or if I've broken anything, then I'm going to go back to the plane wreckage, and get the rations, the food from whatever the plane has.
Yeah.
From the dead people on the plane, I'm going to try to salvage whatever they have to help my survival. Whilst from the plane wreckage, maybe I stay there for a day or two, hoping that some type of rescue comes for the plane. So maybe I create some type of tent, maybe with one of the, these planes have these inflatable rafts or whatever. Create some type of tent in the hot desert with the plane of a sleeping area where it has shade.
Right.
So I have food, water, some type of shelter, food, shelter, and clothing.
Fair.
Basic needs.
Fair.
Then I realize nobody is coming, so now I need to leave. I fill a backpack up with whatever I have that can leave, maybe a stick to walk through the sand, and some type of material that I could use to create some type of shade over me whenever I stop to take a break as a tent. And I'm going in the direction of... Which direction am I going? It's a situation of, do I stay by the wreckage or do I walk?
You gotta go.
Which direction am I going? This is different. Like I'm going to watch where the sun rises and where the sun sets.
You damn right.
Depending on where the sun rises, I don't know. I know my cardinal points, east and west. I'm going to go. If it's a desert, this desert is which part of the world is this desert?
I don't know.
Give me the desert.
Middle East.
Middle East.
Yeah.
I'm going to go
West. No, east actually.
I'm going to go east towards the direction of Mecca.
Yeah.
Because any type of place of worship in the Middle East is facing east. So I'm going to go in that direction. I must find somebody go in that direction.
Well, facing east does not mean positioning in the east. You know that, right?
But they position their mosque facing east.
Facing east, right?
So I'm just going to walk towards the east, hoping that eventually I meet somebody who's probably going to pray.
All right.
Or
All right.
Boom. Mic drop.
Fair. I mean, using the sun as a navigation, that would be the most basic thing to do. Yeah. Instead of the stars, I thought.
Nah,
I always thought the stars light up.
Going to figure out. I'm gonna lay under the shade.
Yeah.
And monitor the way where sun rises and sun sets. So now I know where it's east and west, obviously,
cool.
And then north and south, and then I'm gonna go direction of east.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. You survived.
Hopefully.
I did not.
Yeah, or if I don't survive, while trying to survive, I'm going to try to document it and write. So if I don't survive and they find my body and my stuff, they will find my journal.
Very virtuous, yes.
They will know what
leaving a story.
Maybe they make a movie about me.
Yeah, you're damn right.
If I have kids somewhere, they'll be like, all right, somebody profits from this, goes towards
this survivor that did not survive.
The survivor that did not survive.
Maybe you have a lot of memories, story to tell that you want to tell your children, but you didn't get to. So you write down.
That'd be funky. They write a movie about. So they find me with this journal and I have it dated. Everything will happen.
Yeah.
And they at least make a movie about me. So now the spirit of my name lives on.
You damn right. And your child get to hear your story.
And remember, you only die twice.
Yeah. Why?
Physically. And then.
No.
And then you also die again when people stop talking about you.
Oh yes. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Physically. And your name.
Your name. Done.
All right, yeah. So I guess we put an end to our session. It's been an hour.
Yeah, we spoke about dualities. We spoke about number of controversial topics, but bear with us, guys. I think it was a fun episode. I had fun. We went down. We had a nice, clear.
It's been a very productive episode.
We had a nice, clear, chaotic way to follow, and them wings were slapping.
Them wings were good.
Yeah, bro. Guys, if you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, like, share our page. We're working on a Patreon. We're also working on people who may not be interested to subscribe to a Patreon. We're working on creating some type of donation or tip.
Some kind of system that helps us and help you.
Yeah. At the end of the day, we spoke about duality today. It's a space where you help us and we try to help you and by extension others. And we also try to help ourselves. Thanks for listening. Until next time, how do we do a outro?
We don't have an outro yet, but we would eventually come to one.
Hold it down.
Boom.